At Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. It was Reggie Ragland who got him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4.
Here we go now. Boom, line it.
He'll drop to throw. And that's caught by Smith. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion. I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 23 carries, 63 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. On play action, they'll throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Reggie Ragland. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how we wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey, because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Forced out to his left. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
No. Check. Patriot.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the
That one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
They'll look to throw here. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
Yeah, we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got the turnover. We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. If you don't tackle him...
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Alex Okafor in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
From 11 yards that time on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10.
Leopard, set, 319, 319.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they were hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On the ground, Kamara. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. The all-pro safety Eric Berry in on the stop.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And for the moment, this will be a 1st down. But we have a marker on the field. Let's see if this stands.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but
Still
all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Here we go. Green.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And his crew will take over with the football at the 35-yard line. That's now a 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
when we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurate.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin as the Chiefs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. And they've got it here with a first down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Alex Okafor able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, it took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
Back to throw. Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Being chased out left. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A solid run of 11 there as he tucked it and ran, but he's still short of the marker at its 4th.
I like this effort there. He got it done on his own, but let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green, 30.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
A very good move, but for a short gain out near the 32. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Now let's go.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And that is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here we go now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
The gain of 19 and picking up the first.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all.
And the Chiefs are going to get him.
And we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And he'll take this one down to the 36. The linebacker, Anthony Hitchens, there on the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Saints on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Looking to throw. The open man is Smith. Needed 16. They got 17 on third down. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitzes they just had against them.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Well, that takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And a right side completion here by LaFell. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now Lutz for the field goal try. And Lutz puts this one through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays and only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Over.
They start on the ground with Gallman. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On target over the middle to Hill. Stops shy of the 45. Showed off a nice little move on the play, though. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver and still get head of steam going.
And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Chiefs on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll set up a throw. And it's complete to Kelsey. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw here. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw again. Steps away to his left. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Harris. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. The Chiefs on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll look to throw. And Robinson with a big catch. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Again, he'll drop to throw. Dancing to his left. And that is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Travis Kelce in the final seconds of the first half. And the Chiefs are in for 6.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Well, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Point after, up and good. And the lead is now 10-3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
No. Check.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. Let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Ready for the start of the third quarter. The Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And they work this well upfield across the 45. pickup of 28 yards.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Back to throw now on first down. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
No, check. Patriot! Patriot! Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
They'll drop the throw. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he'll take it down shy of 45 at the 46. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
And they're going to get this all the way out past the 20. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
12 more yards there and another first down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play, because that's been an issue for them in this game. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Reggie Ragland. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. That one goes for 24 yards.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, Help is going to be a little bit late getting there, and he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Gun.
He's going to get it running right. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Chiefs use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Now let's go.
A give. This is Kamara. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
He is going to find Hill here. And he's got some space here. Touchdown, New Orleans. Josh Hill, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints have cut it back within a score.
So what did you say earlier, my man? You said one big play away from getting back in this game. And guess what? There it was.
Yeah, we talked about it, that despite the scoreline, they were that close on the road, and boom, there you go.
Well done, Nostradamus.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field.
Gun. All right, now look at 56.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And Hill with it over the middle. And down he'll go at the 25. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
All right, now look at 56. Lucky 56.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First down for the Chiefs, solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down. In sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. It's the Chiefs with the lead and the football here as we get set for quarter number 4. They'll set up to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
The Chiefs on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. He'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hill. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
First down.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90. All right, now look at.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
No. Check. Patriot. Gone.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he whips that one incomplete there. He was looking for Tyreek Hill that time. And that'll bring up second down. So not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it. And he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Detroit!
Now back to throw. It's Kelsey on the ground. Oh, no, he lost the football. The Saints say they have it, and they do.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll look to throw here. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Over the middle to Smith. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And it's caught. The tight end Hill. A really nice gain of 25 yards. The this quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Now let's go. Boom,
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the nimble footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And he pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Josh Hill, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Saints can take the lead if they can hit the extra. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Lutz with the extra point. And they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Great return.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. His favorite target, Travis Kelce, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
Yeah, really turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Caught, Kelce, left side. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Alex Okafor in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. Alex Okafor getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He is fully awake now if he didn't get off to the start that he normally does. They've got his attention. He's running it well.
You think they set off the alarm clock at the half? Think that's what went down? I know this, having played on the defensive side of the ball, if you do a really good job against a great runner, and you go into the half, you're excited, you're fired up, you think the game plan is working, but in the back of your head is that little bit of nagging doubt. Can we do this for 4 quarters? So far, that's not happening.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning.
Here we go now. Blue landed. Blue landed.
He'll look to throw. That's complete to Meredith. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion. Big hookup there, forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Now let's go. Blue landed.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now Kamara. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. As they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
No. Check. Patriot. Patriot.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down.
But he was stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you get a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
All right, now look at 56. Look at 56. Gone.
He's back to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
And this is caught. That's Watkins. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Everything right now resting on the right foot of Harrison Butker. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. Everything right now resting on the right foot of Harrison Butker. This from long, very long range. And this doesn't get there. It's no good. They had to go for it, but their final effort here is going to come up short.